Nope, Brett Merle is able to get back clear of Cody Moore for the moment. Cody Moore looking low under Brett Merle here on the front stretch, and as they head into turns 1 and 2, oh, we see Brett Merle. He was sideways heading into the corner. It looked like him and Cody Moore, they ended up making contact. He's going to stay clear over Cody Moore. And now Brian Merle Jr., he is looking low under that 52 machine. Side by side, heading off of 4, Cody with the nose. And he is able to get back clear over Brian Merle Jr. as they cross the start-finish line. So right now, you could throw a blanket over your top 4. Colin Willems, Brett Merle, Cody Moore, and Brian Merle Jr. all running extremely close to each other, all ready to make a move on each other. And right now, Brett Merle looking low under Colin Willems, trying to make a move on your race leader. Gets close to that rear quarter panel, but it's not enough. He's going to stay behind the 17 machine at the moment. Here comes the 11 now. Trying to make something happen, but the thing is with Brett Merle, he's having to play offense and defense because not only is he trying to pass Colin Willems, but he's also trying to hold off the 52 of Cody Moore. So Brett kind of fighting a battle on 2 fronts at the moment. And he sends it in there on the bottom. And he's able to get under the 17 machine. And he's got the nose as they head into turns 3 and 4. This is the battle for the lead, but a great run on the outside for Colin Willems as they head off of turn number 4. Now, Cody Moore looking low under that 11 machine. Right now, Merle with the nose on the high side, but a great run for Cody Moore on the bottom. They're side by side on the backstretch. Brian Merle Jr. right in these Moore and Merle's tire tracks, and Cody Moore is able to get clear over Brett Merle. This is for that second place position, so now Cody Moore setting his sights on his teammate Colin Willems, trying to take the lead. The battle is on now for third between brothers Brett and Brian. We're actually watching first place right now. Cody Moore reeling in Colin Willems very quickly for that first place position. Big run right now for that 52 machine. Trying to find a way to get by his teammate. Now, these two are going to run each other very clean, considering they are teammates. And, you know, you don't want to wreck your teammate. But I know they're still going to race each other very hard, because both of them definitely want to get their first wins of the season, each of them. Cody Moore coming on the bottom. He's got a great run. He's just kind of looking to see where Colin is running at his worst, whether it's entry, the center, or off of exit of the corner. And that's kind of where Cody's going to want to make his move. But Colin Willems, he's had a pretty flawless race. He's really smooth. He's really consistent. And he's just really fast, to say the least. But, I mean, if there's one driver that could potentially find a way to get around him, that's Cody Moore. Considering, A, Cody Moore is one of the best here in this series. And B, you know, Colin's his teammate, so he knows a lot about his driving style and how he races at these kinds of tracks. How he races at Iowa. This is the third time that Cody's raced with Colin Willems here at this track, so at this point he's pretty familiar with his teammates' driving style and how he drives this track. So we will see what he can do here. We've also got a 3-car battle right now for 3rd, 4th, and 5th between Brett Merle, Brian Merle Jr., and Joe Wright. Right now, Brian Merle Jr.'s got the nose over Brett as they head on to the front stretch. Jr. with the nose as they head into turns 1 and 2. And he is able to get clear. Brian Merle Jr. now to the position number 3. He's on the podium. And the battle is on now for position number 4 between Joe Wright and Brett Merle. Joe with the nose heading off of turn number 4. But Brett Merle fighting back on the outside here on the front stretch. Right now, they're pretty much equal as they head off of turn number 3. Joe Wright with a little bit of a nose over Brett Merle. Not by much as they head through turns 3 and 4. So Brett Merle, Joe Wright continuing to go at it here at Iowa. Big run off of 2 there for Joe Wright, and he is able to get clear of Brett Merle for that 5th place position. They're staying. Your front 2 are sticking right with each other. Cody Moore not letting Colin Willems get too far ahead of him. Cody, right in Colin's tire tracks, looking to try to make a move, and he's got a big run as they head through turns 3 and 4, getting really, really close to the back bumper of that 17 machine. I would say at about lap 100, that is when the green flag pit stop window is going to open. So we're still a little bit of ways away from that, but just keep that in mind that as soon as lap 100 hits, pit road is going to be a very, very busy place. Of course, a caution very well could change the course of the race and the strategies that are going to be present. But at the moment, if we stay green for the rest of this race, then green flag pit stops are going to be inevitable. And at this time, I'm going to turn up the volume and pump up the intensity here. You will get to see the sights and hear the sounds of the racetrack. Here we go. That'll do it for Pump Up the Intensity. Hopefully you enjoy us turning up the volume. We set our sights now back to the racing action here. And we've got a driver into the pits, so it looks like green flag pit stops are starting a little bit early. Brett Merle onto pit road. Let's see what is going to be done to this number 11 machine. And looks like it's going to be 4 tires and fuel for Brett Merle. So he's the first driver to come in. We take a look back now to the racing action. Colin Willems, he leads. He's got about a 2/10 lead over second place Cody Moore. I mean, Cody Moore, he is right in his rearview mirror. He's filling it up. And Eddie Morris, he is into the pits now. He's a lap down, so he needs to have some kind of strategy to get him back on the lead lap. And short pitting could be the play here. We see Brett Merle is into the pits again. He could have potentially had a penalty or something, which would definitely be unfortunate for that 11 machine and would probably end his chances if he would have to penalty. Right now, we've got a battle going on for 5th, 6th, and 7th side by side between Devin Buchno and Dustin Dean for position number 6. See Buchno with the nose as they head through turns 3 and 4, and he is able to get clear. Devin Buchno into the top 5 now, and that's actually because Dustin Dean is coming in this time by. Looking to get 4 tires and fuel onto that 21 Supra. Number 21 Supra. Cody Moore right on the back bumper of Colin Willems as they head off of turn number 4. Cody Moore really battling it out with his teammate right now for this first place position. We got a few other drivers coming in. That's Devin Buchno, Austin Blaylock. Both coming in to get some fresh Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. Despite everybody coming in, Colin Willems, Cody Moore, they're still battling out for this first place position, but Colin, he is extending that gap between him and Cody Moore. See Cody Moore fighting back a little bit as they head through turns 1 and 2 and on to the back stretch. Question is, when is Colin and Cody going to come in? Right now, we've seen about 1 second of tire fall off for these two. We're getting really, really close to pit stop time. So they had about a 52-lap stint previously. Right now, they're at lap number 40. They may try to get to number 52 again. We've seen a lot of drivers with the short pit strategy. We'll see if that'll work out for them, or if this strategy of, staying as long as possible for Willems, Moore, Jr., Wright, other Wright. We'll see if that works for them. Definitely one of the coolest parts of the SCSRA is we've got 2 sets of brothers. We've got the Merle brothers, or Brian Merle Jr. and Brett Merle, and Joe Wright and Dave Wright. So at the moment, not even NASCAR has 2 sets of brothers. So there's Joe Wright. He's into the pits now. Getting some fresh tires and Sunoco fuel. I want to quickly talk about who are my ones to watch here in this later portion of the race. First of all, your leader, Colin Willems. Colin has dominated a lot of tonight's event. He started on the pole. He has had a rocket. And, I mean, unless something really crazy happens, I don't know if that's really going to change. The one driver that could potentially take Colin's lead is the driver who currently runs in second, and that is Cody Moore. Cody has been fast all race long, and he has been trailing behind Colin in second for a lot of tonight's event. So Colin is one mistake away from Cody Moore getting by him for that lead, and Cody knows how to get it done at these types of tracks. He actually won at Richmond in Season 1. I know Richmond isn't exactly like Iowa, but the two are very similar, so Cody, he knows how to get it done here at these kinds of tracks. Like we're saying, so pretty much my picks to win are Cody Moore or Colin Willems, your front two right now. If somebody else wins, it's going to be very, very surprising. Of course, that would be an awesome story. And there we go. Cody Moore and Josh Hall into the pits now. Coming in right on schedule. So now Colin Willems, we only have 4 drivers that need to come in. That's Colin Willems, Brian Merle Jr., Dave Wright, and Derek Chaput. Colin Willems coming in this time by. Same thing with Brian Merle Jr., which means that if Dave Wright and or Derek Chaput decides to not come in, they will be your top 2. And yes, neither of them decide to come in. So Dave Wright, he is your new leader. And Derek Chaput now is in second. And they are right with each other, battling it out. Looks like Dave Wright coming in this time by fresh tires and Sunoco fuel for that 84 machine. So now, Derek Chaput, he is the last driver that needs to come in. The question is, how long will he and how long can he stay out? There's Josh Hall going by him, getting one of his 2 laps back. And there we go, Derek Chaput making that hard left onto pit road. And the final driver that needs to come in has. So Derek Chaput, he'll come in and he will have the freshest tires out of the entire field. So now this will give Dustin Dean the lead, but he is being closely trailed by his CCM teammate, Joe Wright. Joe Wright looking high, looking low, trying to set up a pass on his teammate. Of course, both of these drivers are going to run each other pretty clean, considering they're teammates with each other. Oh, we saw Joe Wright. He tagged the outside wall there, costing him a little bit of momentum. Right now, your top 4 all running very close to each other. But Cody Moore, he's got the freshest tires out of your top 4 at the moment. He just got by Devin Butchno side by side for first. Big run on the bottom for Joe Wright. Joe Wright is clear over Dustin Dean. We're side by side for second. Here comes Cody Moore with those fresh tires. He's able to get by Dustin Dean, and now he sets his sights on your leader, Joe Wright. Cody Moore looking low as they head off of turn number 2 there. 2 almost making contact on the backstretch. Cody with a little bit of a nose. And Cody Moore is able to get clear. Cody to the lead now here at Iowa. They would have a big run on the bottom. There we go. Cody Moore is clear and to the lead now. And here comes another driver with extremely fresh tires. That's Colin Willems getting by Joe Wright. So now it's Cody Moore, Joe Wright, and Colin Willems in your top 3 positions. Devin Bucchino trying to reel in Dustin Dean for that 4th place position. Looking to see kind of where Dustin Dean is making the most mistakes, and that's where Devin's going to want to try to make the pass here. Looks like Dustin Dean coming up on some lap traffic. But I don't think Eddie's going to hold him up any, considering that's his teammate. So Eddie, he puts it up on that outside wall and lets Dustin and Devin go by. Do want to quickly talk about our merchandise store, IntensityBroadcasting.com. Intensity Broadcasting is the home to your favorite merchandise from your favorite broadcaster, your favorite drivers, your favorite leagues, and so much more. We've got all of our Intensity Broadcasting merchandise on there. All of my Atlee Weiss Racing merchandise. I race in real life, so if you want to help support my racing team, you can get my merchandise on there. We've got a bunch of cool auto racing novelty t-shirts that you can get. We've got our driver collections belonging to 3 different Legends drivers that race primarily in North Carolina and throughout the East Coast: Carson Hayslip, Raven Kimball, and Phoenix Kimball. We've got all of our league collections and then our lifestyle collections. Especially make sure to check out the SCSRA section of the league collections and pick up an SCSRA t-shirt. Comes in 5 different colors: black, navy, red, sport gray, and white, in sizes small to 5XL. But, I mean, all of our merch looks absolutely great, and I'm sure you can find something that catches your eye on there. So, again, the website is IntensityBroadcasting.com. It is the home for merchandise for your favorite broadcasters, your favorite drivers, your favorite leagues, and so much more. So right now, after green flag pit stops are said and done, looks like Cody Moore won this pit cycle after coming into green flag pit stops in 2nd place behind Colin Willems. He was able to take the lead from that 17 machine during the green flag pit stop cycle. One thing I do want to mention is that starting tonight and all the way until the start of the playoffs, drivers from the developmental truck series are going to be able to make 4 starts. Here in the Xfinity series, they can pick any 4 they want, as long as it's not the season opener or any of the playoff races. So, no, none of our rookies participated tonight, but they can participate from here on out every single Wednesday until the playoffs start. So that means some of your truck favorites. Like Jason Kraft, Jacob Albert, Timothy Stubblefield, Dave Hoytsma, Michael Dunn, Peyton Aldridge, Eli Lewis, Edward Manning, all of them can participate in Xfinity and select Xfinity races starting this week. We got a battle going on for third place between Joe Wright and Brian Merle Jr. right now. Joe Wright, he's got the nose on the outside lane, but here comes Brian Merle Jr. fighting on the bottom. They're side by side through turns 1 and 2. And on to the backstretch. Merle with the nose heading off of turn number 4. Looks like Joe Wright, he's got straightaway speed, while Brian Merle Jr., he's getting the good runs through the corner. So we'll see who can get clear of who first. There they go. They're side by side as they cross the start-finish line right now. Pretty much equal as they head into turns 1 and 2. A little bit of a run on the outside, though, for Joe Wright. Brian Merle Jr. fights back on the bottom, though. These two have been battling with each other for a lot of tonight's event. So we'll see who can get the better of who. They're coming up on lap traffic, and that is actually Brian Merle Jr.'s Neon Racing teammate, Brett Merle, and his brother. So we'll see if maybe Brett throws a block to help Brian out. Kind of like we saw with Ross Chastain and Kurt Busch at Atlanta one time. No, didn't really look like Brett was a factor there. Oh, we see Joe Wright getting loose off of 4. The two make contact. There's Brian Merle Jr. heading into 1 and 2. He's able to get clear. That could have been bad. But luckily, Joe Wright was able to save it. He unfortunately falls to that 4th place position. The battle is on right now for the 10th place position between two drivers down a lap. This is actually the battle for the lucky dog between Eddie Morris and Josh Hall, two former teammates. Josh with the nose heading into 1 and 2, and he's able to get clear. So now if a caution were to come out, Josh Hall would get the lucky dog, and he would be back on the lead lap. Well, unfortunately, Eddie Morris would be stuck down a lap still. I don't know. We've got 25 laps to go, and minus the stage break caution, we have not had one. I do want to correct myself. It's actually 4 starts that our Truck Series drivers are going to be able to make. 3 starts. So they can only participate in 3 races, but still, that'll allow them to get their foot in the door here in the Xfinity Series and show off their stuff to prove that they are ready to move up in Season 5. So far, after 2 races in the Truck Series, we're starting to see a lot of good drivers that have potential to be successful here in the Xfinity Series. And I'm excited to see, who's going to come out on top in the Truck Series, who's going to take Rookie of the Year. Right now, the highest running rookie in the standings is Jason Kraft. But that can very well change throughout this season. Thank you to Edward Manning for letting me know. And here comes Colin Willems. He's battling it out with Cody Moore for the lead. They're side by side. Cody getting loose off of turn number 4. With 20 laps to go, the battle is on for the first place position. Here comes Colin Willems on the bottom. They've got a great run off. He's got a great run off of turn number 4. Cody Moore still, though, with the nose as they head into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Colin Willems on the bottom now. He's got a great run as they cross the start-finish line, almost clear of Cody. But Cody fighting back on the outside as they head through turns 1 and 2. Colin Willems, he's got the nose on the backstretch. 2 teammates battling it out. These two have been 1 and 2 for a lot of tonight's event. And we're going to see who out of these two is going to come out on top. Like I mentioned earlier, if either Cody Moore or Colin Willems doesn't win, it's going to be a big surprise. And something really crazy is going to need to happen. Something that's going to happen may happen here if either of these two make a mistake. Of course, though, the next car that could potentially pass either of these two for the lead is 6 seconds, or now 7 behind them. And there we saw Colin Willems was finally able to get clear over Cody Moore as they were coming off of 2 there. 17 laps to go. Can Colin Willems hang on to the lead? Or can Cody Moore get it back? They're coming up on 2 drivers that are going to be lap traffic. Dave Wright, Derek Chaput. So let's see if either of these two might hold up Colin Willems and allow Cody Moore to have a good run and maybe use him as a pick. Well, we saw Colin Willems getting a little bit loose there off of 4. It's been really common throughout tonight's event. So coming this time by, it's going to be 12 laps to go here at Iowa. Colin Willems, he's got a 1-second lead over second place Cody Moore. And after dominating tonight's event, minus the stretch where we saw Cody in the lead, he's just been the class of the field. He's been really smooth, really consistent. Has had little to no mistakes. And he's also been really, really good at saving the tires. That's why Colin Willems has been so successful tonight. He's had great car control. We'll see, though, if he can hang on for these final 10 laps or if Cody Moore can maybe reel him back in. Also, Brian Merle Jr., he has about the same age of tires as Colin Willems does, so I don't know. 5 seconds separates him and Colin, or about 6 seconds, actually. So we might see him be able to close the gap a little bit, but I don't know if he'll actually be able to catch Colin and Cody. So you got 9 laps to go here, and here's a look at the top 10. Let's see where your favorite driver is currently running. Got Colin Willems in first. Cody Moore in second. Brian Merle Jr. in third. Joe Wright in fourth. Dustin Dean currently running in fifth. Devin Bucciano is in sixth. Austin Blaylock currently sits in seventh. Derek Chaput is in eighth. Dave Wright is in ninth. And rounding out your top 10, that is Josh Hall. So we got 8 laps to go here at Iowa Speedway. Colin Williams trying to finish this race out and grab his first win of the season. Heading into this season, Colin Williams is definitely one of the championship favorites. And a win here at Iowa is a step in the right direction. It'll lock him into the playoffs. And so that'll mean that he'll join Austin Blaylock as the two drivers that are locked in. I believe it's going to be a playoff field of 12 this season. So after this race, if Colin Williams wins, there'll still be 10 spots up for grabs. And of course, Colin Williams had a great day as well, considering he won the stage and got 10 stage points. That'll help him out in his trek to the championship. He was not able to get it done last season. Well, he's been successful in all 3 seasons, winning races in all 3 of them, but he has not been able to finish out with a title. This year and this season could be different for Colin Williams. Bringing the SCSRA champion, and also if Colin Williams would win the championship, this would be the first time that the SCSRA Championship Virtual Cup, I guess you could say, would be in Canada. As we have not had a single Canadian win the championship. Cameron Austin is from California, Cody Moore is from Ohio, and Devin Bucciano is from New York. And we have 2 Canadians that could potentially get the championship. That's Colin Williams, who currently runs in first, and Derek Chaput, who currently runs in the 8th place position. Both of them drivers for Wasted Wages Racing. And occasionally we see Sylvain Segoin running in some races. He's not participating tonight, but every so often he might hop into one of the races. And final lap, mile number 130 here at the Iowa Speedway. Colin Williams has had a fantastic performance. Started on the pole, won the stage, has led majority of the laps, and now he is going to lead the final one. He heads off of turn number 4. Colin Williams grabs his first win of the season, and he locks himself in to the playoffs. Colin Williams wins the Hawkeye 130. Really, really good win for Colin Williams. Great race here at one of the trickiest tracks on the schedule. Really good start of the season for one of the championship favorites. And he is coming to the start-finish line. Cody Moore was great tonight. Had a fantastic run, led some laps, and then Brian Merle Jr., he shocked, I'm sure, me and all of the drivers. He had the drive of his life tonight, finishing off with a podium. So great job to Brian Merle Jr. We'll talk to all 3 of these drivers coming up very shortly after the end of the race festivities. Colin Williams burning it down on the front stretch, celebrating his first win of the season and locking himself into the playoffs. So there we go. Colin Willems. Very, very happy right now. We see Cassie Willems on Facebook. She says, great job, or great race, Colin. Way to go, Wasted Wages. And it was a fantastic performance from Wasted Wages Racing tonight. Colin Willems, Cody Moore finished on the podium, and Derek Chaput ended up finishing in the top 10. So we're waiting for everybody to get into the waiting room. Starting off, we're going to pull in your third place finisher from McKinleyville, California. He was your SCSRA All-Star winner in Season 1. Let's pull in the mayor of McKinleyville, Brian Merle Jr. Brian, this is Atlee in the broadcast room. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Awesome. Well, you had the drive of your life tonight here at Iowa Speedway. Biggest mover of the race after starting in 12th. You were able to work your way up into the top 3 here at the end of the race. We saw you running in the top 5 for a lot of tonight's event, having some great battles with your brother, with Joe, and after everything shook out, you ended up finishing on the podium. So just walk us through your race and walk us through, a great start to the season.
Yeah, it's definitely been a pretty good start. Had a pretty good speed weeks in the 13 Xfinity car. It kind of carried over to tonight. I screwed up qualifying, though, man. I brushed the wall on the first lap, and I was trying to get it slowed down. I was in the wall, and I crossed the line just barely. So I had to take almost a shotgun on the field start, and just kind of worked the bottom and saved as much tires as I could and just found the passes when I could. But let me tell you, if there's two guys that don't give me an inch, and I don't give them an inch, so I'm not whining, but it's Joe and Brett, and we had some of the best racing I've ever had in this league tonight. I mean, countless side-by-side laps, crossovers. I think Joe was even trying to go 3 wide at one point. So, hats off to those guys for clean racing. A wheel mark here and there is clean to me. So, thanks to those guys for some good battles tonight. I felt like I had enough pace to stay with the 52 and the 17, but I didn't have enough to get to them. Watching the relative, one lap I'd gain a tenth, next lap they'd gain a tenth. So I think I needed a caution to reset us, give me maybe a shot at it. I don't know. Those guys were on top of their game. They were able to race side by side, nose to tail. So good job to Colin on another win. I'm getting kind of tired of finishing behind him. I want to finish ahead of him for a change, but yeah, that was just about it. Just take care of your tires, take care of your car, and put a full race together, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, like you mentioned, taking care of your tires was definitely one of the biggest keys of the race tonight if you wanted to be successful. And, you were definitely one of the drivers that could do it best out of the field. What's the key to saving tires here at this kind of shorter track?
Driving off your rear tires. You gotta have throttle control here. Real loose. I think Josh he had a big save early, and I think he may have finally spun one around. And you just didn't want to burn that right rear up, because if you're burning that right rear up, then you're going to lean heavy on the right front. And I did pretty well saving. Every time I go in the pits, it looked pretty good. So, yeah, I think it was just a lot of throttle control, driving with the throttle pedal. Less brake, give up entry a little bit. Not be on the binders when you're turning, keeping the heat down. I think that was a lot of the keys for me.
Now, before we let you go, Brian, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Always got to shout out my teammates, and I'm not gonna forget one. I know he's watching. He races with us on Tuesdays, and I think I forgot him at Michigan when I finished second to none other than Colin. I'm gonna thank Jake McCarty, Brett Merle, and Dev Butchino. I want to thank my girlfriend Lindsay and my unborn son Brody. He's gonna be here early next month, so excited for another race car driver. Got to thank my barbershop, McKinleyville Barbershop, Dev Sports Cards, and you guys for putting this on. The admin team's been great. We're a little short on drivers, but I think we'll get there.
Well, first of all, congratulations on the sun that's on the way. We have iRacing onesies on IntensityBroadcasting.com. Not trying to advertise, but congratulations on the sun on the way, and again, congrats on the podium tonight, Brian.
Hey, thanks, Atlee, and thanks for always putting on these good races and doing a good broadcast.
I thank you for the kind words. Always have fun. See you later, Brian.
Later.
All right, let's now pull in your second place finisher from Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the 52 machine of Cody Moore. Cody, this is Outland the broadcast room. We got a copy.
I got you, buddy.
Awesome. Well, good run here tonight at Iowa. We saw you started in the top 5, but you were quickly able to work your way up through the field. You ran in the top 3 for a lot of tonight's event. I know a lot of it was trailing behind your teammate Colin. We saw, though, after green flag pit stops, you were able to run ahead of him for a little bit, but Colin was able to reel you back in and get by you, and you ended up settling there into second. So not quite the result that you wanted, finishing second, but still great run, great podium finish, and a clean race. And I know with the craziness that can sometimes happen at Iowa, that's definitely a good night. So, what was your take on tonight's event, Cody?
Yeah, first off, Colin was the class of the field. I had nothing for him all night. I short pitted him there, and I maybe could have held on to the win, but I smacked the wall, just losing focus on the front straightaway there, and after that, the car was junk. But yeah, hats off to Colin, and I just want to say to Dustin Dean, my apologies. That was 100% on me. I'm glad he was able to get a top 5 out of it.
Now, I know the car is extremely loose here at Iowa. We saw a lot of drivers getting loose off of X of the corner. What's the key to car control here at this very, very tricky track? Probably one of the trickiest on the schedule.
Yeah, it really kind of reminds me of Richmond, just a little bigger. I think the key is to be smooth, and I just didn't have it tonight. Colin, again, was class of the field. He's really good at kind of letting the car roll and being patient back to the throttle, and I could stay with him all night. I could never really set him up for a pass.
Now, before I let you go, Cody, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Yeah, I got to thank my beautiful wife, Maggie, my proxy wife, Cassie, in Canada. She's there for emotional support only. My kids, Papa Moore watching at home, all my teammates at Wasted Wages. Congrats to Colin on the win. Even though Dustin Dean sucks, I still have to apologize to him because I feel terrible. Yeah, thank you, Atlee, for doing this each and every Wednesday night. We appreciate it.
Well, again, congrats on the podium tonight, Cody, and I definitely see a win in your future. So good luck for the rest of the season, and have a great rest of your night, man.
Thanks, Atlee. Take care.
You too. All right. And now it's the moment you've been waiting for. Let's pull in your winner from Strathroy, Ontario. Driver for Wasted Wages Racing, number 17, Colin Willems. Here we go. Colin, this is Atlee in the broadcast room. We got a copy.
I got you, Atlee.
Awesome. Well, fantastic run tonight here at Iowa. You're able to grab your first win of the season at only race number 2. And what a drive it was. We saw you started on the pole, started off fast, and then you led all the way until that stage break, and you kept it in the lead for the rest of the race, kind of until you got to that green flag pit stop. We saw Cody short pit a little bit there, and he led for a little bit, but you stayed right in his tire tracks, and as soon as he made a mistake, we saw you were able to pounce on the opportunity and got by him for the lead and held on to it from there. So, man, what an incredible race. You were smooth, you were consistent. Just walk us through everything that happened here tonight at Iowa.
Yeah, you pretty much summed it right up right there. I was just working on maintaining a good, consistent line, throttle control, keeping the tires as cool as I could every few laps, just trying to get the car a little bit loose on exit just to keep that right rear warm, just that I didn't burn up the right front too much. Again, something I'm not very good at, but it all seemed to click for me here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as qualifying began, the whole track really seemed to click for you. So, we haven't really seen you win on any of like Richmond or Iowa type tracks, so far in the SCSRA history. So, I mean, what do you think made tonight the night?
Well, I won North Wilkesboro last season, but no, like this track, kind of the way I ran it, I kind of drove it a lot like I do New Hampshire, which is kind of similar, like just trying to keep the car loose off, and really help it on entry turn in the center. So that's pretty much how I treat it. I treated it more like a New Hampshire.
Now, before we let you go, Colin, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you up in the booth for doing a great job every week. My beautiful wife, Cassie, Margarita Maggie, Wasted Wages Racing, Cody Moore, Chappie, William Walter Witt the 5th. Who knows, maybe the next time there's a Witt on here, it'll be the 6th. Missing you well. Hope everything's going well, buddy. I want to thank all the admins, Nudie, everybody. Yeah, really, really happy with the run today.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the victory tonight, Colin. Locked into the playoffs, and hopefully we'll see a great rest of the regular season as you try to add more into the win column. So, again, congrats on the great run tonight, and have a great rest of your night.
Hope so. Thanks. You too, Ali.
Thank you. All right. Well, that will do it for tonight's event. One more time, congratulations to Colin Willems on his first win of the season. Locked into the playoffs now. First of all, I'd like to thank the admin team of the SCSRA Xfinity Series. David Hartney, Eddie Morris, Michael Provolt, Stephen Black, Sylvain Seagoin, Brian Nudie, and Devin Butchno. Without them, this league would not run as smoothly as it does. So thank you to all of them for all that they do for this league. Thank you to the series sponsor, Dead Sports Cards, for supporting the league. And, of course, thank you to Butt Kicker for partnering with Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to check both Dev Sports Cards and the Butt Kicker out for their respective services. And I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in to watch tonight. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as it would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,500 followers on Facebook, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 1,000 followers on Twitch. Check out our Twitter. We're always dropping polls and interacting with our viewers on there. It's a fun time on Twitter. And then also make sure to visit our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com. It's the perfect place to find merchandise from your favorite broadcaster, your favorite drivers, your favorite leagues, and so much more. We've got Intensity Broadcasting merchandise, at Lewis Racing merchandise, a bunch of cool auto racing novelty hats and shirts. We've got our driver collections for Carson Hayslip, Raven Kimball, and Phoenix Kimball. We've got our lifestyle collections, and then, of course, our league collections. Especially make sure to check out the SCSRA collection and pick up an SCSRA t-shirt that comes in 5 snazzy colors and sizes small to 5XL. I'm Atlee Atman-Wish on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Over and out.